the beer that's been pressed out and sterilised goes into these tanks, which then is added to these, and these tanks go into the tanker, which is because we at Springfield we didn't do keg beer.
It's all just tanks.
It's all cask beer, because you know the difference between keg and cask beer. Cask beer is real ale.
Okay.
It actually ferments in the cask itself. You know, that they leave a little bit of kegs pasteurised and filtered, so they put CO2 into it. Kegs are the straight-sided ones. If you ever look at the back of a pub, and they can last months.
Whereas the casks,
Whereas the casks are these are the casks.
Stick with the straight ones then.
Huh?
Straight ones.
The straight ones.
Well, the only trouble is they're not supposed to tat with them, but you get some unscrupulous landlords get the key and they can open them, pour the beer back into them and reuse them, which they're not supposed to.
Oh la la.
So this is the cellars, not the basement.
Got told
Yes,
it's not the basement.
You can see that's where the track comes down, bringing the casks, and they come down the back and they just fetch them off. And the back of here is 2 big tanks, which the beer from the vessels, the FVs, once it's finished brewing, comes down, gets put in there, the finings are added, and then it's put into the casks, and then it's just then sent out. And it's sort of like, you're supposed to leave it for about 7 days to ferment in the cask to create its own CO2 and everything.
What was the temperature down in the cellar?
It was cold, but it wasn't icy cold.
It wasn't icy,
Yeah, it was quite cool, yeah. And then, did you say you'd been in the cellars?
No.
Ah.
Health and safety.
Oh, well, there was 3 cellars, actually. This was the black and white cellar, obviously. Yeah. Well, that was where the beer went the day it was wrapped.
I don't think it matters anymore.
And then the head brewer would go down and sample those, you know, just make sure everything's all right. Once they'd been there for a day, then they were transferred to the sample cellar, and that was where we did all our. That's where we use our samples. You know, we go and take samples from there as our reference samples sort of thing. And on a Wednesday, the brewers would go down, and there'd be so many samples taken from these, set up, and then they'd go down and taste. And then that's the brewery stone that's in the lab. And I say this is a shame, because this building, you'd never ever see this building. This was the micro department. You can see the wall that was this wall here.
Right.
That's that wall through the window. So this was the micro lab. That way looking that way, and then that way looking that way, sort of thing. I didn't take a picture. The prep room was sort of like out the back, and you could see the windows. They were just painted over white, you know, in the back. And then this was the main lab itself, going down the lab. There was 3 like sections. That's the first section, mid section, and end section. Yeah. So that's. Any questions? Have I confused you?
I mean, Mike's recording it also.
Well, yeah.
But I mean,
if
there is any question, basically, and you can see with the structure itself. But Chris knows more about the history of, you know, the people and things like that.
I used to order materials in, things like that, so, you know, rather than the actual technique of brewing and all that, I only know just from being there, you know, and usually doing minutes of meetings about all the different things, you know, health and safety meetings and, you know, production meetings, all sorts of things like that.
But Chris worked in the offices here.
When I first started.
There was 3 offices there. That was like the supervisor's mess room.
Right.
Then the middle one was the brewer's office, head brewer's office, wasn't it? And then this was the assistant brewer's office here.
With the jockey outfit.
Yeah.
That's technical term.